So we have been dealing with the pandemic. Another deadly health crisis has been getting worse across Oklahoma. That's opioid addiction. This morning, News Channel 8 launches a brand new project that we hope can help. We're calling it Addicted Oklahoma, and our intent is to shine a light on both problems and solutions. As News Channel 8's Kim Jackson tells us, while we're gaining ground on COVID-19, opioid addiction is bigger than ever.
When the nation went on lockdown for COVID-19, that opened the door to trauma for recovering addicts.
Trauma is very prevalent when it comes to substance use. People feel like they're not being heard. They feel lonely. They go to drugs and alcohol to deal with their problems.
Counselor Drew Nichols saw his clients battling anxiety, depression, and isolation. Centers like Counseling and Recovery Services of Oklahoma had to close, and as COVID took lives, so did addiction.
What we saw is probably in the first 8 months of 2020, there was an increase in overdose deaths, which is really concerning. And I think that's because COVID was kind of the perfect storm for people who are struggling with addiction.
Some in recovery may have suffered relapse that led them to the streets. Experts estimate more than 80,000 people died from overdoses during a 12-month period during the pandemic.
Unfortunately, the things that are found on the street is what leads to a lot of those overdose deaths, because they're not controlled, they're not manufactured by anybody, they're mixed with terrible things. And they don't really know what they're taking a lot of times.
The COVID pandemic has revealed the darkest side of the opioid crisis. It has also shown us lots of opportunities and presented ways of serving those who need it the most. At Counseling and Recovery Services, they're offering much-needed medicine, safe pickup, and even delivery. And they started doing virtual therapy sessions because transportation was an issue even before COVID.
What COVID actually helped us do was be able to provide services over the phone. Before, we weren't able to do that and bill for it correctly.
A state-funded program, they needed funding, and they've received more grants to help with the underlying problems of addiction. Their sessions and programs are full.
I think it's been easier to get to people.
And now, with treatments available, there's renewed hope in the battle against addiction despite the pandemic. Kim Jackson, News Channel 8.
And we know that the addiction problem touches people from all walks of life, possibly you or someone close to you. We're going to stay focused on this story each Wednesday morning right here on Good Morning Oklahoma. And as always, we welcome your comments or input.